Hey, everybody, welcome into week 12 Wall Street Sells. Here we are at the deadline, and we've got a few guys that deserve coal in their stockings that you're getting rid of. I can't help with the Christmas crap because you got your tree up before Thanksgiving. And this is going to be our last sales of the year, so we won't get to talk to them again before Christmas. So I might as well hit it now, right?
Why
Right.
not? Why not?
All right, Mr. Professor, why don't you go ahead and give us your number one coal receiver?
That's kind of harsh, Kyle. I don't know that I'm ready to put
Eh,
coals in these guys' stockings, but if you're going to go there, let's do it. I think the first guy I'm going to put on my sell list is a guy who's been very inconsistent, really, on the season. Um, Very disappointed this last week. 2 targets, 23 yards receiving. He kind of saved the day because he had a receiving touchdown. And that alone at least boosts his fantasy score and makes it somewhat palatable for someone else that you might be trying to sell him to. And that's Jayden Reed with the Green Bay Packers. There was a window here where you were trying to acquire Jayden Reed, but he's just been really very inconsistent on the season. Um, this past week looks like it was more the Christian Watson show, and it seems to be something lacking in chemistry between him and Jordan Love. So with the receivers they've got in this offense, a lot of kind of mouths to feed there in Green Bay. I'm really concerned if I've got him on my roster and not the type of guy that you're going to be able to depend on down the stretch. So if I can find a taker, I'm going to maybe even package him up and try and get an upgrade at the receiver position, or use him to get a guy that I'd much prefer to have on my roster at another position.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. There's so many mouths to feed there, not just with the receivers, but then you got Tucker Kraft also. Like, it's
Yeah,
just there's too much going on. No, and we thought early in the season Reed was going to be the guy, the consistency, and now it's showing maybe not so much, and that's tough. But and he had a down week last week, but I think he's got enough name equity built up that you can still get pretty good value for him in a trade.
100% for
So
sure.
yeah, so for sure, go ahead and try to do that. All right,
Well,
who's our next guy? What? Did you start to say
well,
something?
no. Sometimes when you're trying to move a guy, and somebody else might see it as a buy low opportunity. So hopefully you can
Mm-hmm.
find someone who thinks they're buying low on Reed and go ahead
Go
and move him.
go find the Packer
Yeah.
fan in your league and trade him to him.
Exactly. That doesn't hurt.
That never
Second
hurt.
guy I got on my list is another receiver, and we may as well stay in the NFC North. And I'm going to move over to the Chicago Bears. Um, Again, I think this is a player who's been mostly inconsistent this year. I think kind of going into the year, I saw him ranked typically in the top 15, top 16. But DJ Moore for me is just a little bit concerning. He did have a decent day here this past week. Seven targets, 7 catches, 62 yards receiving. But I'm nervous because he's not leading the team in targets, and I'm beginning to see Rome Odunze starting to come on. Look, they drafted this guy, top 10 pick, right, ninth overall, and I'm concerned that we might be seeing a shift, especially now that Green Bay has really kind of started to move in another direction with this new offensive coordinator. um, if I can move DJ Moore and get someone that I feel more comfortable leaning on rest of season, then that's a move that I want to make.
Yeah, 100%. And it doesn't bode well that DJ Moore is so frustrated with Caleb and that team. We saw him walk off the field a couple weeks ago. Like, that's not helping any matters at all. But yeah, dude, if Adunze is just because we assumed DJ Moore number one, Adunze would eventually take over number two when Keenan Allen left or retired or whatever he does. But Adunze could end up number one there as soon as this season. So, yeah. And it's funny, too, because I remember, what was it, like 2 or 3 weeks ago? We had DJ Moore as a bye. Like the week before he walked off, we had him as a bye because their schedule was redonkulous in the playoffs. And
Yes.
now it's like, well, maybe
Yes, I think sometimes change.
schedule isn't everything. So let's go ahead and think about another option.
Schedule doesn't hurt, but
Yeah,
I think his role in the offense. We also did not anticipate this change with the offensive coordinator,
true.
and Shane Waldron. He kind of is bringing a different type of game plan and offensive scheme. So that is kind of what's got me concerned, and that kind of leads to the third guy that I've got on my list this week because he's another Bear, and it's DeAndre Swift. Running backs are hard to come by, and DeAndre Swift has been really kind of a pleasant surprise this year.
Been
But
better than I thought he would be.
yeah, no, me too. Me too. But I think what we saw here last week, if I'm a DeAndre Swift owner, I'm very concerned
Mm-hmm.
because we definitely saw a lot more of Roshan Johnson than we're used to seeing, almost a 50-50 split. And, it's not even just a split in the snap share. He ran more routes than DeAndre Swift in the passing game. He had just almost an equal number of total opportunities. He also, which is a major red flag, had the majority of touches in the red zone and inside the 10 in particular. So he carried the ball 3 times inside the 10. DeAndre Swift only once. So, Swift had that long touchdown run, which I think really boosted his numbers and maybe
Mm-hmm.
gives you an opportunity to sell him and to get something really very nice in return. But he's a guy that if I have him on my roster, I'm very nervous about kind of some of the trends that we saw just in this first week and what that could mean for Swift down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it. It's not just the split, but those goal line carries. The fact that Swift lost that to Roshan in the first week of a change is frightening. Very frightening. So,
100%.
all right, Professor. Thank you for those guys that we won't let play in any reindeer games. These puns are getting bad. I got to stop. All right. Somebody stop me.
I like
Well,
him. I like
we are
him. I'm
stopping.
enjoying him.
We are stopping for the season on your buys and sells because it's trade deadline week. So good luck on your trades. Good luck in week 12 and good luck in the rest of the season, everybody.
Good luck, guys.